What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today I've got a story time for y'all I think you're going to enjoy, where this kid's dad basically tried to fight me because he just really misunderstood the situation that was going on. Regardless, I figured it would be a pretty funny story time for y'all, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so this story actually takes place at a friend of mine's house. I'm going to call him Trevor for the purpose of the video, and Trevor and I were like in that weird stage of friendship where you hang out at school, but you don't really hang out outside of school. Like, I had never been over to his house, but I considered him one of my friends, you know, and one day he's like, yo, bro, you should come over and hang out with a couple of other dudes who were going over to hang out and like skate after school. So I was like, all right, bet, I'll be there. And I didn't think anything of it, obviously, because it's not like I had any ill intentions. I'm not trying to become friends with this dude to fight his dad. Believe it or not, that was not on my to-do list when I decided to go hang out. But whatever, I go over, and sure enough, everybody's just kind of in the front yard. He had a rail set up, and people were just kind of skating and hanging out. And so I'm hanging out there, and I said, hey man, is it cool if I grab like a water from the fridge? And Trevor looks at me and he goes, yeah, of course. In fact, if you want a soda or anything, just go for it, just grab it. So obviously, at that point, I'm like, okay, sweet, I'm gonna grab a water, and since Trevor said it's okay, I'm gonna grab a soda, right? I know it's like rude to grab something without asking, so I would have never just like grabbed a soda out of the fridge unless Trevor had said it's okay. But I go into his garage, and I'm the only kid in the garage, and his dad is kind of sitting there like watching something on TV in the garage, and they had a pretty deep garage, so I actually hadn't seen him until I came into the garage. Just the way the sun was kind of coming over the house, it was just kind of shadowy. So I walk in and I say, oh, hi. And he goes, hi, I don't know you. And I said, oh, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Ryan, right? And so I walk over to the fridge and I open it and I grab a water, and there's a bunch of soda there, and there's like one can of Coke left, right? And then there was like 50 cans of Pepsi. And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a Pepsi because it would be rude to take the last Coke. That was honestly what I was thinking, that like if I had one Coke left and someone took it, I wouldn't want that to happen, so I'll take a Pepsi. And I grab a Pepsi, and as soon as I put my hands on it, I hear like a growl noise, and I'm a little confused, and I look over and I see that his dad's staring at me, and his like friendly demeanor has now shifted into a face that's like a scowl. He's not seeming too thrilled anymore, and so I kind of stand back up, and when I stand up, I take the Pepsi out and I go, I literally say, and he goes, did someone tell you that you could take that Pepsi? And obviously I'm a little bit confused, and I literally go, me? Because I'm the only person in the garage, but I'm like, yeah, I just introduced myself, bro. You just saw me take it, you know? And he's like, who do you think I'm talking to? There's nobody else in this garage. Who told you that you were allowed to take a soda out of my fridge? And I'm like, oh, Trevor did. And he's like, well, that's funny, because last time I checked, Trevor isn't the person paying for the groceries around here. So how about you put that soda back? Because I didn't say that you were allowed to take one. Do you know how rude it is to come into someone's garage and start taking stuff that they've paid for? And I'm literally just like gobsmacked confused in this moment, because I'm just like, I don't even know what to say. This dude's giving me this lecture about how it's rude to take stuff out of the fridge, but like his kid had literally told me it was okay to take a soda. And so I start kind of trying to defend myself, and I'm getting a little irritated because, you know, I just think it's a misunderstanding. And I go, no, you don't understand. Your kid told me I could. I didn't realize that you weren't cool with it. And he's like, oh, so now you're going to try to throw my son under the bus for you not having any manners? And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not saying this is anyone's fault. But you're acting like I'm coming in here trying to take your stuff out of nowhere when it's not my fault that I was told it was okay to grab a soda. And at this point, the dad walks over and is like, with me next to the fridge, and we're kind of arguing back and forth, and he opens it up and he goes, why would you grab a Pepsi? Why would you grab a Pepsi? Keep in mind, in this fridge, there's one Coke and a bunch of Pepsi. Like, you know, Pepsi's my soda. I buy that for me to drink. So the fact that you would take a Pepsi makes me think that you're trying to come in here and disrespect me. And I'm like, dude, believe it or not, I don't know what your favorite soda is. I don't know you. There was one Coke left, and I thought it would be more rude to take the last one than to take something that there's a bunch left of, right? Like, I don't know, bro. That was really my thought process. I didn't realize that the Pepsi was not supposed to be taken. I didn't realize Pepsi's a dad soda. If you're under the age of 25, Pepsi is illegal. Like, I didn't know that, dude. No one's ever ID'd me to get a Pepsi, which I'm not gonna lie is probably a pretty smart alecky thing to say, you know? But regardless, at that point, I'm irritated. This dude is acting like I'm really out here trying to steal a soda. I can get a soda, thank you though. But I'm being a smart aleck, and he's like, you know what? I don't like your attitude. Put the water and the Pepsi back and get out of my garage. And at that point, I'm like, okay. So I just drop it on the floor, which not the best thing to do, okay? It's not like my maturity level is where it is now. I wouldn't have done this now. But when I drop it, the Pepsi pops. And he's like, you're making a mess. And I go, I'm leaving. And I just start to walk out of the garage. And I want to say, obviously popping the Pepsi. If you're watching this, angry dad, I apologize. I didn't think it was gonna do that, bro. I really did not. In the moment, I thought it was gonna like hit the floor and roll, which still doesn't make much sense. I just shouldn't have dropped it. But like, it's not like I set out with the goal to throw the Pepsi on the ground and cause a mess. And I apologize if you're watching this, bro. But either way, I start leaving and he is yelling now that like, get out, get out. And I'm like, I'm leaving, bro. And that's when I kind of feel him like right behind me. And he's not pushing me out of the garage, but he's walking like faster and I have to keep walking faster to stay away from him. So I get out of the garage. And at that point, everyone in the streets just kind of turned and watching this. No one's skating anymore. And Trevor's sitting there slack-jawed because his dad is like beat red with anger, like escorting me off the property. And I walk past my skateboard in my backpack and I go, bro, if I'm gonna leave, I gotta get my stuff. And he's like, no, you're not gonna get your stuff. It's on my property. And I'm like, I'm not leaving without my stuff. And at that point, I turn around and it's not like I can do anything, bro. I'm a kid. Like this dad is like gonna toss me through a plate window if I try to do anything. But I'm like, look, dude, I have to get my stuff. I can't leave without it. And at that point, he's literally like an inch from my face and he's yelling. And when someone's yelling and you can feel the spit hitting your face, like the heat from their voice, that's how close he is to me. And he's like, if you're not off the property in the next 10 seconds, then I'm fighting you. And at that point, everyone around me kind of gets up and starts trying to break us up. And Trevor's like, what happened? What happened? And his dad's like, your moron of a friend took one of my Pepsis. And Trevor's like, I told him he could take a soda. And his dad's like, well, I didn't say that you could tell your friends that. So you know what? This is your problem. You get him out of here in the next 10 seconds or I'm beating him up. And at that point, Trevor looks at me and he's like, I'm sorry. And it's like, it's cool. I just need my stuff. So he goes over, he grabs my skateboard and my backpack and he runs back over. And the entire time his dad's like dramatically counting down, bro. 10, 9, 8, 7. And I'm like, I'm going. And I get on my skateboard and I get down the driveway when he gets to 1. And like now I'm on the street. And I'm not saying I'm like the fastest skateboarder on the planet. I'm not setting speed records, but like I can definitely skate faster than someone not in their physical prime can run. And I look back and I'm really confused because the dad is like running down the driveway. And I'm almost like, is he trying to scare me? Because there's no way he's going to be able to catch me. And he's running and he's like, I said, get off my property. And I'm skating away and I'm not trying to egg him on, but I'm just laughing because it's just so absurd, bro. Like, obviously this entire situation is just one big misunderstanding. None of this was intentional. The entire thing's just a disaster. I think it's hilarious, but I guess he thinks I'm laughing at him because he starts to like run even faster. Well, as I said, this dude's not in like the prime of his physical shape. Probably hadn't run in a while because as he's running down the driveway, he like trips and eats crap, bro. And he doesn't fall soft. I think there's something to be said if you like play a sport or something where you fall a lot, you kind of learn how to fall. Not that it like looks graceful to ever eat crap, but if you're a sprinter, you kind of know how to fall if you're sprinting. If you're a skater, you kind of learn how to fall. You're in football, you learn how to get tackled. Well, this guy apparently hadn't fallen in a bit because he falls hard. And when he falls, I just like stop laughing and turn and just start skating. And it wasn't because, I didn't want to make sure he's okay. I just assumed that if he got up and saw me still standing there laughing, that he was going to be even angrier. And at that point, I kind of felt like, not that it's about winning the situation, but if you're running after me and you fall, like, all right, that's probably the place to leave that, So whatever, I go home, bro, and I'm sitting there and I start getting texts and I look and it's from Trevor and he's like, bro, I am so sorry. I should have told you not to touch the Pepsi. Another one of the kids that had been like at his house skating, I guess, had been like taking a lot of sodas home. And so later that day, his dad had talked to Trevor and been like, is that the kid that keeps stealing all my Pepsi? And Trevor was like, what are you talking about? Come to find out, another kid that was a part of that group, not me, had been like, yeah, going into the garage and taking 5 or 6 cans at a time. And his dad had just noticed that like, damn, I used to have to buy Pepsi once a week and now I've got to go and like buy it all the time because it's always gone. Who's doing it? So he had just assumed, he should have asked, that like I was the person who had been taking all of his Pepsi. Not that it would have made it okay, but I guess in my mind, it made a little bit more sense why he was just so heated about me touching the Pepsi. But from my perspective, bro, I'm like, what is going on? I was told to come get a soda, and now I'm getting yelled at and like screamed at for getting a soda. All in all, though, I probably would have not won the fight. It's pretty good that I got to just skate away, you know? It's not like I'm a physical specimen out here. If YouTube boxing was my sport, I probably would have a losing record, you know? So all in all, I guess getting out of there was all right. I did not really go back to Trevor's house after that. You know, we stayed friends, but no offense, I wasn't really trying to go over and get screamed at for taking a Coke this time. So we just kind of stopped hanging out at his house. But regardless, guys, I think that's gonna do it for the video. If you enjoyed, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments section down below. And of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on those notifications. If you really want to help me out, you can use code Scrubby at the G Fuel checkout. And I also do post these on Spotify if you ever want to listen offline without gameplay, whatever floats your boat. A link to that's going to be in the description as well. But yeah, on that note, guys, that'll do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.